All right, welcome everybody to another OkieTradez Study Session. Well, I'm going to try and keep this one quick, not feeling all too well, which is kind of unfortunate since today was actually an extremely hot day. Now, I'm not saying I should have traded any of these day one gappers, but I definitely misplayed the breakout today, and I completely missed MULN. And I looked at it last night, and I said to myself, I don't like this for some reason. I can't even remember the reason why I didn't like it, but now looking at it today fit all the criteria. So I just want to go over everything really quickly here. Um, yeah, so I do want to talk about these day one gappers to start off with. They're all low floats, so NUVO, SGE, NRXP, every single one of these except for EBS is a day one gapper basically. Well, MULN is kind of it is a first bounce day, but you can consider a first bounce day a day one gapper really. But I like to distinguish them in tracking with different names that way. So I want to start off with NUVO, and as you can see, it just kind of spikes up. Now, back in the day, I would say, "Oh, that's a complete miss," but after trading these stair steppers on these lower penny stocks, I have a keen eye for it now. And I wouldn't be bringing it up if NUVO was the only one, but every single one of these stocks did some nice stair stepping, and they're all low float stocks, and they all had good volume. So I'm gonna take notice of that. Now I need to see this happen, not just today, but I need to see this happen again tomorrow. I need to see two or three stocks, low floats, high volume, stair stepping up, making great moves, respecting the risk and being able to move it up like we do with the true penny stocks, etc. And so we're going to need to see that tomorrow and again the next day. My rule is I need to see 3 straight days because a lot of times you'll see something happen 2 days in a row and then you'll go ahead and buy a stock that's looking like it's going to work out on day 3 and it doesn't work. So day 3, I'm not even going to play them like that, but I'll watch. I'll be tempted, I'm sure. I might even just give them a little teaser just to get a feel for it again, like $1 risk. And I take way bigger risk on multi-day breakouts, 200 to 500 per trade. So $1 risk because I don't want to have any emotions tied into it at all. And I might trade something on Wednesday if Tuesday everything's popping off just like it is today. So how do we trade stair steppers, right? We want to see them spike over VWAP and we want to see the stair steps, right? It's really clear. And then you get that move into a halt. I don't know if you want to sell it there because how did we play it? It was like you would sell after the fourth step on the pennies. How many goes up here? So we got 1 here, 2, there's 3. I would say that's 4, just 1 right there. So there's 4 and probably just sell it there. So we got 4 stair steps on that one. And it's not rocket science how you would play it. And you might say, oh, that's too scary. Well, take small ass size. Oh, excuse my language. You know, Forgive me, I'm not feeling well again. So try not to curse. That's just something I don't like to do. But yeah. Anyways, really simple on that. So we'll move on. And SGE, also a low float. We see it spike over VWAP, but right here, does it break the high? No, it's underneath it, so we wouldn't buy there. And then we get the spike above VWAP. Now, typically, I'd want the dip to be above VWAP, but this one obviously didn't care, and it just took off. So we also had this here, obviously, right? The wedge. So we're still keeping an eye on wedges, but I'm also looking at, if you can combine a stair stepper and a wedge, well, that would be nasty, wouldn't it? No wedge to speak of on this one in my eyes, really. You got this one here. Whoops. But to me, that's way overextended at that entry, so I wouldn't even touch something like that. So, you get this one little stair step and then a huge move, and I would probably say yeah, just move on, because especially look at all this, like, all right, I mean, that's not bad. Like this one right here, and then you get this one, and then you get that one. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, and then it just pulls really hard. Okay, 3. This one's 1, but look how big that is. Huge move. And then it sets up again right here. I guess you would have to take the low of that candle, but then you get to move it up right here, and then you get another. So 1, 2, and it moves up, and you can tell it's losing steam after that. In RXP, this was another good one. Like, this is pretty good volume, and nice sideways action, gets a big move up. Nice sideways action, gets a big move up. Probably wouldn't add on that one, but definitely move my stop up to right there. And, you know, was that 1, 2, 3 entries, possibly 4, but I'm just going to say 3. So maybe 3 is the safe bet on these. You know, we're still just digging into the set. We're still learning. We'll get more info tomorrow about it, that's for sure. But MULN, this was the big miss by me. For reasons unknown, I didn't think this was a good first bounce day candidate. But if we look where at the base of where it ran from, right here, to the tip of where it ran, it needs to at least ran 100%. And this is what, 311, and that high is 750. So obviously that's a 100% move. So, because like what, 620 is 100%. So it's over 100%. And then what's the reason, or what's the other candidate, or I don't even know how you would state that. The rules: we need multiple days pulled back and not lower than this candle. So we get 1, 2, 3 straight red days in a row. I guess you could count that as a red day, but I would say that's more of like an up day because it's still closed higher than that high. But this one closed lower than this one closed lower than that one closed lower than that one. So I would say 3 red days in my eyes. And you would at least like 2. And then you kind of get this gap up today and huge move. And so what's the trade on that, right? Always first high of day versus low of day, or last best dip. So in this case, most likely you're just going to pick last best dip, because why would it come all the way down and stop right here and then hold that one? You know, if it did stop me out right here and begin to hold here and curl up, I would probably re-enter. If it came all the way down and stopped me right there and begin to hold right there and not have gone under that one and starts to spike back up, I would probably get long right there, and then, you know, hopefully it comes back up to the highs. But typically these are just going to respect, you know, your entry and your risk on a good first bounce day. And this one does. Something I'm really working on, and I'll prove it to you in the next little example here, is and Jackaroo's girlfriend, I don't know if they're still dating or anything. I forget her name. Myra, Myrna, something like that. Um, but she's an awesome trader, and she said, you know, if you expect a stock to break high of day, and it's most likely going to break high of day, like, why would you buy high of day? Why wouldn't you just buy the dip and you get a lot better risk to reward, right? So I've been thinking about that lately, and I went back through all my examples over the last year, and by golly, this darn entry right here is insane. Let me just show you something right here. This entry. What is this entry? So, on a multi-day breakout or a first bounce day, I'm almost just going to every single time, instead of wait for high of day break with this much wide, look how wide this is. You still get 3-1 on this high day versus last best dip. And that's a secret too I want to point out, is when even if it's a stock spikes to start off, but especially if it pulls, but either way, the first 1 minute candle to make a new high off of that pull, right? So red candles, and then you get this first 1 minute candle to make a new high entry right here at 444, risking 436. And obviously you see it works, right? But the point is, now, how do I find my target? I'm not just selling up here because Normally I'm waiting to buy right here. So why would I sell up here? No, I got my stop. Well, actually, I'll just move my stop up to right here. So now that thing's freaking break even if we think about it, right? Because now this is my new stop, which is basically right at the entry. And if we look at this high day, 475 risking 440. So roughly like 30 cents, I would say. And so I would want $1 per share, right? I mean, you could even just go if you want to get exact with it. 'Cause sometimes I like to round down or up. Like if it's 175, I'll just say, well, I'm looking for $1.50 a share. You know what I mean? Just to be a little bit more on the safe side. So technically this is 35-cent risk, but or 33, whatever, 34. But I'll just say 30 cents. And I'll say instead of saying I want 90 cents, you might as well just look for $1. You know what I mean? Kind of somewhere in between, the more logical sense. So 475, my target is 575, right? And look at that, hits it. So, but I'm not buying 475, risking 420, 442. No, no, no. I'm buying 444, risking 435. So 10 cents risk to make $1 is 10 to 1 risk reward. So just say you took 1,000 shares right there. You were to risk 100 bucks, you just made $1,000. And the odds of this working are crazy. Like first bounce days are working around 65 to 75% of the time. Multi-day breakout, 75 to 85 to upwards of 95% of the time is it working. You know, I just took a loss today, so that 95 got knocked down to 90. And then if I was to take another loss, you know what I'm saying? But I actually had a win today, but I just put that one under the break even because I didn't win a whole lot on it, but we'll get into that one real quick. So I just wanted to show you kind of um, how I'm looking at these trades. You know, I'm always looking at first high day versus low day, but now I'm really looking for this super tight entry right here because I swear it works every freaking time. Looking back over the last year and a half now. But I also wanted to point out you could have made a fortune on this because look at this. Stair stepper, because what is it? It's a low float. So we're looking at low float stair steppers, and my goodness, right? And then you get out your stair stepper entries maybe right here, but then you hold this freaking entry all the way up to right here because that's where you're told to based off 3 to 1 from high day, which you would normally buy versus last best dip. So hopefully that didn't confuse you too much because I just went next level with it. Uh, but again, you know, another low float stock. Just wanted to point out real quick, stair stepping. And look how it's respecting the freaking risk, man. It's just beautiful. So tomorrow we're really looking for that. And so today I also wanted to point out to prove to you about that first 1 minute candle to make a new high situation is I was planning to trade this as a multi-day breakout EBS today, which I did. And I had a win, but I stopped out on a lot of my shares because I thought it was going to go a lot higher. It didn't actually break out, right? But I did make a decent amount of money on it, just nothing like I wanted. Um, So, you know, day three surge potential because it pretty much opened up close enough to this breakout high. So, first high day versus low a day is always the play. So, what do? Normally, I would wait and buy it right here, risking right here, right? High day versus low a day or last best dip. Last best dip is clearly the best spot right here. But what did I tell you? I want to buy the first 1 minute candle to make a new high, right? So it pulls. Now there's a potential I would buy over this. No, pulls. Potential I'd buy over this. No, pulls. Closes here. Doesn't break a new high. Then I buy it right there today. This I bought just like this. And I got filled at 402, risking 395 basically. 392, you could say that. So, anyways, so 10 cents and it goes straight up 45 cents, right? And the breakout is, you know, up in the 470s. But look how freaking high that runs. Like, and your risk to reward is so much better down here than it is up here. And you just know that that first turn is always going to break high of day pretty much after you buy it on that first 1 minute candle to make a new high. And you may not believe me, but I've been like looking at all the examples of the last year and a half, and I swear, man, that works. There's been 2 examples out of like 15 that it didn't work, where the breakout still worked, and you would have took a loss on that first 1 minute candle to make a new high. So to me, that's still full on. Like you could potentially buy here, sell it here, and then buy it again, or buy here, add. You know. But what did EBS do? It's not a low float, but my goodness, still stair step. I think there's something to be had. We'll just have to see what tomorrow brings us, but a really good day of opportunities. And this is going to be a study session that you might need to watch a couple of times to really grasp the idea of what I'm talking about. So, all right, y'all. See y'all in chat tomorrow, and really excited about it. Even though I'm feeling like crap, this nice little market, these new little setups have brought some energy life back into me, and I'm glad I did this study session. All right, see y'all tomorrow.